Do you make your bed?
I do, yeah.
And have you always made your bed?
No, but now that I live in like Airbnb, I only live in Airbnbs, and I feel like I don't know, it's just a thing to do. Like it's not my house, so I just want to keep it as. If you keep things clean along the way, you have to do less work at the end since I'm moving around and stuff.
So it's recent and it's kind of like a politeness thing. Is it any sort of a personal hygiene thing for you?
No, no. I mean, I like to. When I was a kid, I always I'm not necessarily an organized or clean person, but I don't like to work unless it's a very clean environment, and so sometimes I have to do it for myself, and sometimes you're married and someone else does it, or sometimes you do it for them, and it just depends.
Mm-hmm. Do you tuck in the sheets when you make the bed?
No, I hate that because then my feet are uncomfortable when I sleep.
So you just flatten it all out and make it look presentable, and then you're done and you're good. But if Admiral McWilliams came in, then you would probably be in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. I'm definitely not soldier material.
And do you have a final message to summarize what we've talked about here today?
Well, I think there's a lot of interesting things even for me to think about. Like, do I make sure I do every day, do stuff every day and to move myself forward? I think always making sure you're doing little experiments every day to move yourself forward along the things you're interested in. I think that's a very useful thing to do, and I have to remember to do it myself. So, and that's how I quote unquote choose myself.
And where can people get more of you?
JamesAltucher.com or the book Choose Yourself, or I'm James Altucher on Instagram. I'm Jay Altucher on Twitter. I'm all over the place.
Great.
My podcast, The James Altucher Show.
Yes, definitely listen to the podcast because you're a person who listens to podcasts. You probably already listened to that podcast, but anyway, go check it out if you haven't. James, thank you so much for coming to this virtual meeting of ours today. Yes. You're a huge hero of mine, so it was a huge honor to have you on the show. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much, too. Thanks for asking me to come on.
Your designer has been lying to you. Design doesn't have to be a mystery. Get $100 off any pay upfront package of my flagship visual design course, D4H Video. Just go to cadavy.net/video and use the code LOVEIT on any pay upfront package. I hope that conversation with James Altucher helps you listen to your own ideas. I hope it helps you take small actions to get started. And if you do any writing, and I think everyone should, I hope it helps make your writing more open and honest. And remember, you can get Choose Yourself at cadavy.net/choose. That was such a valuable conversation for me, and it actually got more valuable after listening to it the third or fourth time. So it's certainly worth a re-listen. But if you want to hear more about really investing in yourself, I think you'd also really like the very first episode of Love Your Work with Jason Fried. Hear about the early days of 37 Signals, now Basecamp. How did they fight their assumptions to create a truly original company?
We weren't trying to be different. We just realized that we were. Let's take a shot. What do we have to lose here? What we actually have to lose is not being ourselves. And that is a bigger loss than being yourself and not getting traction. If we were trying to act like everyone else, then we weren't really being ourselves, and that's the loss.
And if you appreciate all of the work that goes into making this show, there are a couple of ways you can help support it. One is to subscribe on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. Just hit the subscribe button. Another is to rate the show on iTunes. Just go to cadavy.net/iTunes and click on write a review and click on the star rating. You don't even have to write a review. It just takes a couple of seconds. And do you like books? If you do, I'd love to send you my book recommendations. About 90% of them will be nonfiction on subjects spanning from biographies to neuroscience. Just go to cadavy.net/reading, sign up, and you'll get my first set of recommendations right away. You'll be supporting the show if you buy any of those books through the links in the email. This has been Love Your Work, and I'm David Cadavy. The theme music for the show is More Streets, performed by Spiderflower. Love Your Work is a production of Cadavy Inc.